glad you're here. Please, come in and have a seat. Let's see where the conversation takes us. When was the last time you had fun? What were you doing? I had fun last night. I went over to a friend's house and we shared some appetizers and ate some pizza and talked about maybe getting the old improv troupe back together. That was a lot of fun. I have really gotten good about prioritizing fun. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I don't think I've ever really been bad at prioritizing fun. It's just kind of ingrained into my personality. I seek the fun out in just about everything that I do. But I've noticed that there are a lot of people walking around out here in the world who don't seem to be having any fun at all. You're not seeing any of the outward signs that joy is a part of their life and how they're interacting in public spaces. So I wanted to talk about the fun deficit. Like, what happened to fun as we grow up? So, as I often like to do, let's talk definitions. When I say fun, what am I talking about? I mean, that which makes you laugh, makes you smile, fills you with joy, makes you feel lighter and brighter. Those things that we anticipate and look forward to doing, and that afterwards it created a positive, happy memory, right? And fun is different when we're little versus when we've grown to adulthood, right? This adult fun is just, it just hits different. It is not the same. So what is it about this childhood fun that's so different? Well, this last weekend we spent some time with my grandnephews, and getting to observe littles having fun really highlights some of the differences in adult fun. I mean, with the littles, with the kids, it's spontaneous. It's moment to moment. It is carefree. There's no agenda. There's no clock on it. Fun can break out at any time. And it does with great amusement to anyone around observing the fun. I had a blast playing with them and watching them play amongst themselves, and the way that they can turn a game from just about anything, right? We're waiting for the next event to take place as we're hanging out. And as we're just standing there, they invent a game in the line as we wait, right? It happens. It just bubbles forth from their imaginations. And it is beautiful. And that is often not how we play as adults. And instead, our play tends to be more planned, right? It's structured, it's scheduled, and oftentimes we allocate it as a reward for accomplishing a goal or an achievement. And I really think that we would benefit if we practice weaving fun into the day-to-day, seeking those opportunities to have some of that spontaneous, carefree, agenda-free fun from our childhood. What can we do to recapture it? Because when fun fades from our lives, there are some consequences, right? There's a cost to it. When fun fades, days get longer, they get harder, they're less fulfilling. So, and that happens because fun matters in a way that I don't think that we acknowledge. I don't think that we give it the credit that it's due, because it's not just entertainment, right? It it's a boost to our creativity. It is one of the most powerful natural stress reducers. When you can have fun, you can feel the tension melt away in your body. And it enhances connection. When we have fun with the people in our lives, we remember why we choose to go through life with them, like why you picked that person. Having fun can help you remember why you chose to spend your life with that person to begin with. Remembering to prioritize fun in our lives, in our relationships, in our day to day is essential to our happiness, right? There are studies out there showing that even brief moments of joy sprinkled throughout your day can increase productivity and happiness. That's why so many workplaces went through a period where they were instituting bright colors or playing music in the workplace. These are corporate attempts to infuse joy, and we know how well corporations do at meeting human needs. That's a conversation for a whole nother day. Let's instead focus on that which we can control, which is how we find the joy for ourselves, how we recapture our fun. Because it's not an easy path, guys. I mean, there's quite a bit out there trying to blockade the fun. There are barriers to our fun all over the place. And they're dressed up with titles like adult responsibilities, work and bills and parenting and repairs and maintenance and upkeep. And they tend to crowd in your calendar and eat all of your time, pushing fun aside, right? And what happens when we choose to have fun? We're then faced with the guilt of all of the things that we're not doing, all of the productivity that we're not engaging in, whether it's washing the dishes or sweeping the floors or cleaning out underneath that cupboard that you have been planning on doing forever, and it's just taunting you. Not that that's happening to me as we speak. Anyway, again, subject for another day. All right. But all of these to-dos, are they important? Do they need to get done? Yes, but not to the exclusion of finding the fun. And I'll throw this at you. What if we can take some of those things and find ways to make it fun? Like yard work. It's got to be done. But if you got to cut the grass, you can at least play loud music in your earbuds and dance while you do it, right? Infuse a little bit of joy into the process. Or, pretend you're, master of the jungle as you pull ivy from the trees, or, I don't know, all sorts of different ways that you can take those mundane tasks and find ways. Maybe you invite somebody whose company you enjoy to come and, you know, distribute the work with you. You do a project at your house this weekend, and next weekend you do a project at their house. And you split the work and double the fun because you're doing it together. There are ways that we can overcome these barriers. There are ways that we can push past the obstacles and incorporate fun into our routines. I mean, how fun is a routine, right? Same thing every day, over and over. Checklist done, checklist done. If you live your life by checklists, and I know plenty of you do, I'm not judging my checklist people. There's value in one. I make them myself occasionally. Granted, I typically will then forget it at home, leaving it where it can't assist me, but that's a me problem, not a you problem. All right. But when we structure our life the way that we need to accomplish all of our goals, everything that we need to achieve, maintain our hygiene standards, keep our environment the way that we want it, we can schedule fun right out of it. And we need to make sure that we're not letting spontaneity feel indulgent or even risky, that we've become so structured we can't allow for the unplanned. Because when we do that, we miss out on some tremendous opportunities. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to keep yourself open to every spontaneous thing that occurs, but every once in a while, a little spontaneity can be fun. And for those of you who insist on planning everything, you can structure your spontaneity. Want to know how? I'll tell you how. You pick a day, right? Or a time block, this 4-hour period. That's the structured part. Then the unstructured part is you don't decide beforehand what you're going to do with that time. You leave it open up to chance, whether that's going out to a community calendar to see what events are in that day. We live in the day of the internet and Chat GPT. Go out and ask Chat what's available to do local, what fairs or festivals are available. Facebook has all sorts of community groups where they post fun things to do in your area. Go in and just select a variety of things that may interest you. And then when you have your scheduled spontaneous day, you go and see what things are going on. All right? Community calendars, internet resources. I know I have one. Prepare yourselves. Talk to people you know about what's going on around them. They might know about some fun things that are happening because we all have different bubbles where we hear about and know about different opportunities. Everywhere around us, there are restaurants that have a local artist playing. You have cafes and shops that have poets and performers who show up, and there are bars and restaurants that offer open mic nights and that offer oh, what's the word I'm thinking of? Don't you hate it when that happens, when the word's sitting right on the tip of your tongue and then it just goes, nope, not today, and runs away? Yeah, having one of those. But trivia nights, and there are places where you can go and get line dance lessons, or they have a salsa and a bachata night, and you can learn how to swing your hips like a Latin lover. There are opportunities in your community all around you. where people can connect and share interests and enjoy each other's company and have fun. So you decide what block of time you're going to allow for spontaneity, and then just go out in the world and find the fun thing to do. Even if you don't want to put that much work into it, then get in the car, turn the music on, put the windows down, and at each intersection that you come to, decide left, right, or straight and see where the road takes you. You never know. Maybe you'll find a restaurant that you'd never heard of that has that incredible thing that becomes your new favorite thing. Maybe you will come across some little festivals celebrating local artists. We get a lot of those around here in Florida, where you can see craftsmen and artists and artisans just, gathered with some tents selling their products. No obligation to buy, but it's always fun to go and look and see what people are creating, what's available out there. Another challenge that we face are the social expectations that we must always be productive, that we should always be getting something done. We live in a world where being busy is super valuable, right? The busier you are, the more important you are, the more status you have. And busy can rob you of fun. So make sure that when we're busy, that the busy is intentional and it's not just filling your time and occupying space without really giving you a return on that busy. Because what happens if we don't find time to fit fun in is we start paying some of the consequence. Every choice we make has a consequence. Sometimes the consequences are good, sometimes the consequences are bad. And if we forego fun long enough, the consequences can get pretty devastating. It can lead to burnout, disconnection, feeling stuck in a rut in your life, right? Can lead to depression. It can lead to unhealthy thought patterns. It can lead to damaging relationships because you're not connecting. And when you're not connecting, you're not feeding that relationship. What was your childhood hobby? Like, what was the thing that you loved to do the most when you were a kid? I I am a collector of hobbies. So that's kind of a hard question for me particularly to answer because I've done a lot of hobbies. I have had piano lessons, violin lessons, and guitar lessons. Cannot play an instrument. I've had ballet lessons and modern dance lessons. Not a bad dancer. That was kind of stuck. I've taken cooking lessons. I've taken drawing lessons. My stick figures, pretty much still insults to sticks. It's not good. But that doesn't mean that I'm not an artist, right? So along over the years, I've collected some hobbies that really fulfill me, that bring me a lot of joy. And I make sure that I prioritize time in my life for those hobbies. So many times as we grow into responsibilities, into a full-time job that has to support a household and building a family and building a business and building a full adult life, we sacrifice our hobbies. We put aside the things that we used to love, whether it's knitting or crocheting or scrapbooking or um, baking or painting or tinkering on cars or rebuilding engines or woodworking or whittling or whatever the thing is that brings you joy in the doing of it, right? When was the last time you indulged in your hobby? Are you making space in your life to do those things that fulfill you, that feed your creative spirit, that um, give you time to space out, right? Giving your mind time to do some of the quiet work, the shadow work while you do busy work with your hands. Are you structuring that in, or is that a part, a facet of yourself that you've neglected? You know, we talk all the time about self-care and how important self-care is. But we think about self care in terms of diet and exercise, and we think about self care in terms of like meditation or bubble baths or massages or those types of things, right? And they're all parts of, but they're not the whole. One of the missing ingredients, oftentimes in our self care routine, is fun. It's laughter. It's silliness. Are you making that a part of your self care regimen? If you're not, it's time to start including it. What can you do to include a little fun in the day to day? So, how do we rediscover fun as adults? Well, I'm a jump out of an airplane kind of gal anyway. I have. It was fun. And yeah, I'd probably do it again. Um, I'm a scuba diving, kayaking, nature walking kind of gal. I'm a dance party with my friends, dance in the kitchen kind of girl. I fit fun into my life. What are you doing? You don't have to jump out of the airplane to have fun. It's not a requirement. You can start small. You can begin with brief, playful moments. You know, instead of just cooking dinner, turn on a dance party playlist and boogie out to your favorites. All right. Genre doesn't matter. What moves you? Okay. Um, One of the things that my friends and I used to consistently do when we would walk together anywhere is we would link arms and do the Laverne and Shirley Shamil, Shamazel, Hop and Up Incorporated, and we would do the silly walk down the sidewalk, or sometimes just break into a skip because why not? When was the last time you silly walked somewhere? All right. Reconnect with your old hobbies. Pick up that instrument that's been collecting dust in the back of your closet. Break out the paint set. When was the last time you played with your video game? When was the last time you invited a couple of friends over to play dominoes or spades or Uno? You know how many different versions of Uno are out there right now? There are like 952 million different ways that you can play Uno, and each one is more fun and more chaotic than the last one. It's wild. Go explore the new Unos. I challenge you. All right. But there are all kinds of games. I personally, I love Cards Against Humanity. I collect all the different packs, all the different kinds. I have Cards Against Disney and Cards Against Star Wars and Cards Against Harry Potter and all of the Cards Against. And they are fun and funny, and it is just a blast to pull a deck out and play at random, right? So many different ways that we can get together and enjoy each other's company. You can make it social. Reach out to a few friends and, figure out who's got karaoke on Thursday night and go meet for a couple of hours for drinks and silly singing. Trivia nights. They have trivia nights all over the places. There is even a place. There's a company right now that is scheduling these events. It's so super cool. I saw this when I was looking for interesting things to do online. And there is a company right now that is scheduling uh, lectures in bars. So you can go to a bar, get some drinks, and listen to a lecture from somebody who is an expert in their field on any given topic, right? Like, oh goodness, what was the one that was in the ad that I had seen? It was a lecture on ancient civilizations or something. It just sounded interesting, right? There are so many different interests in the world out there that no matter what yours is, there's somebody indulging that interest. And you just need to put yourself out there to connect with it. I encourage you to allow a little bit of spontaneity. Leave yourself a couple hour block once a week, once every couple of weeks, to just see what happens, right? Allow yourself to see what fun can emerge when you just go out in the world and see what's going on around you. And remember, not all fun looks the same. There's all different levels of fun. There's low-key fun, like grabbing your bestie and going to Barnes and Noble and collecting a bunch of books and deciding which one or ones you're going to buy. Maybe okay, so one of my girlfriends back in the day, we used to love to go to Borders, or that was a bookstore a long time ago, or Barnes and Noble, and we would go pick 2 or 3 different books, and then we'd find a pair of chairs sitting next to each other, and we would open the books at random and read excerpts from each other and see if we could figure out what was happening in the story. And we wouldn't even necessarily need to figure out what was happening. We would just make up our own version of how we got to whatever happened in that scene. Another kind of low-key fun, go to a public space like a mall or other type of gathering space and sit back and make up backstories for all the people around you. It's highly entertaining and can really create some creative thinking. It's a fun thing to do with a friend where you guys both feed into each other and provide key aspects as to who that person is and why they're in this space right now. Completely fictional, all made up just for the fun of it. People watching, right? There's adventurous fun. Could be theme parks, could be travel, could be jumping out of an airplane or scuba diving or, all kinds of things. Skiing, could be, mountain bike riding, could be renting Vespas and cruising through a new city. Right? All of those are different types of adventurous fun that you can have. There's romantic fun, find some place that has like a dinner cruise for two, or, go for a walk on a boardwalk. All kinds of different things you can do. There's creative fun. You can get together. There's the paint and sip activities, and there's um, pottery classes, and drum circles, and yoga in the park, and just all sorts of different things that you can do to engage mind, body, and soul in enjoying this life that we have here on earth. Work is important, but it's not the only thing. We need to make sure that we're having fun too. You can have fun by the group, or you can have fun by yourself, right? There's nothing wrong for a little solo outing. I like going to a movie by myself, where I don't have to worry about what anybody else wants to see, and showing up late or showing up early, and are we going to get to watch the trailers. And one of the most fun things I ever did all by myself, it was so much fun. I dropped my husband off at the airport so that he could go visit his daughter out in Arizona. And I went to Universal, and I spent the entire day in the theme park all by myself. And as a lifelong people pleaser, the freedom to walk through the parks and go to the ride I wanted to go to when I wanted to go, to stop and stare at the thing that I wanted to study for as long as, and see the shows I wanted to see, and eat the foods I wanted to eat, and not have to worry about anybody else's desires. It was magical. And it showed me that it's important that I prioritize my choices every once in a while, right? That I let myself take the lead, whether solo or in the group settings. You got to advocate for yourself and make sure that you're not just around the fun, but you're enjoying the fun as well. So, what kinds of activities? Let's break these down. I'm going to give these to you almost in a list. We're going to start with some free activities. Okay. Take a nature walk or a hike in your local park. Have a picnic in your backyard, free because the groceries are already in your kitchen. You don't have to go shopping for them. Or a nearby green space. I know our local town has quite a few little parks peppered throughout the neighborhoods. There's all sorts of little places you can go and find a pretty green spot to enjoy a little treat. You can visit a museum on a free admission day. You can try a new recipe at home. Do a little cooking for fun. Used to do this thing. I had this cooking club. It was so much fun. It was based on like a Top Chef, or not a Top Chef, like a Chopped, where everybody would bring an ingredient, and then we would need to create a meal on that based on the random item that each individual bought or brought. That one was a lot of fun. And then I had another supper club where we would pick a theme, and everybody would bring a dish to that theme. And oh my goodness, were those fun events, right? Just to get together and laugh and share food. It's a beautiful thing. Game nights. Game nights are always a blast. Board games, card games, communication games, all kinds of different games that we can play. If we wanted to step up out of the free and we had just a little bit, there's some low-cost activities that you can engage in. You can go to a local coffee shop and then just sit and people watch or read. You can take a community class, painting, dancing, cooking, spinning. They have them that are exercise based, and they have them that are craft based or skill based, where you're learning something new. Um, Host a potluck with friends and assign everyone a dish, or assign a particular ingredient that has to be included in what they bring. Those are lots of fun. Um, Visit your local farmer's market, or find the craft fair or the little festival that's set up on space in your town or in a neighboring town. Um, do an at-home spa night with do-it-yourself masks or bubble baths. Um, you're willing to spend a little bit more, you can buy tickets to a local concert, go to a comedy show, support your local community theater. As a theater enthusiast myself, I can't encourage that one enough. Individual tickets or season tickets. You have some very talented actors in your local community. Go support the work that they're doing. Visit an escape room. Those things are a ton of fun. You get 4 or 5 people together and go do an escape room. That's a blast. Trivia night at a local venue. They have them in sports bars, and restaurants will offer those along with some community centers. And then go on a day trip to a nearby city or an attraction, take a dance class, or go paddleboarding at a local water source. Get a subscription box. Like, there's some really cool subscription boxes out there. There's one I saw that does like a hobby a month, and it'll give you like candle making and crocheting and needlework. It's just all kinds of different things that you can craft and do. And there's subscription boxes that are snack boxes that can give you maybe a movie theme night based on where that snack box came from, or it's just a little bit of creativity, and you can turn all of these things into fun. If we want to spend a little bit more, we got the budget for it. We can go with booking a weekend getaway or a staycation at a nice hotel. You can plan a spa day with massages and facials, or take a group cooking class, or book a wine tasting. There are vineyards hiding around you you might not even know about. Right? And if not a vineyard, then maybe a brewery. Breweries are all over the place these days. Go find a brewery and try a flight or two of what they have to offer in their craft beers. You can purchase tickets to major events like a festival, an amusement park, or a concert. Take a class series, photography, writing woodworking workshop. So many opportunities out there, so many different interests that we can enjoy, that we can find the joy in. When was the last time that you felt truly playful? What simple fun could you try today? What could you do today to ensure that you had a little bit of fun, had a little laugh, felt a little joy, felt a little connection, plugged in with your community? If after all of this, you're still struggling to figure out where you can find your fun, well, it might be time to grab a piece of paper and a pencil and journal about the last fun you had, and what kinds of things make you excited. What triggers a little anticipation? Maybe your fun is getting on a boat and going fishing. Maybe your fun is reaching out to some friends you haven't talked to in a while. Maybe your fun is trying a new restaurant. Maybe your new fun is I don't know. You tell me. What's your fun? I want to hear about it. It's been really great chatting with you today. I always appreciate it when you stop by. Make sure you follow me on social media at Angela's Living Room on all platforms. If you'd like to support the show, you can subscribe to my Patreon and see all the behind-the-scenes action and some extended episodes. Have a great day.